Hi, this is Glenn Phillips, Senior Insights Consultant at Watermark. Thanks for joining me for another assessment tip here in the mountains. What I find a lot of institutions are interested in is finding ways to capture more qualitative or narrative data on their assessment process. Assessment plans can be incredibly useful. Often they find themselves gearing more towards compliance-oriented assessment. And so folks want the opportunity to tell the story of what's happening at their institution, really what's happening at the department level. To meet this need, what I've done at a former institution is what I call assessment interviews. So all I would do is I would choose 4 or 5 academic units in the fall and 4 or 5 academic units in the spring. And then I would sit down with them and ask them a series of questions. The first question was, what is a change that you have recently made that you're excited about? The second question was, what guided you to make that change? And the third question, of course, as you can expect, is what happened? What has happened since that change? By capturing this information in a narrative form, I would then write it in a one-page little white paper that we could post on our website to tell other folks about the kind of cool things that were happening at the institution. We would also use it as evidence in our narratives for accreditation to talk about the deep, rich culture of assessment that was growing at the institution. And I also found that the faculty members that I worked with were far more excited about talking to me about their program and the cool things they were doing to support student learning than they were in necessarily writing a report. Now, it doesn't mean that reports aren't useful, but using assessment narratives or assessment interviews can create another level to your assessment story and guide reviewers for accreditors or just stakeholders who are interested in understanding what your community of assessment looks like towards a better understanding of how data is being used to create new changes that are appropriate for your institution. If you have already done something similar for your academic units, I would also encourage you to do the same thing for your administrative or non-academic units. These units are often making changes, keeping track of those changes, and those changes are based on data, but we don't always get that story. And so sitting down with them for 20 minutes, capturing their information based on those questions that I just mentioned, can actually give a lot of really helpful information for a white paper that can really round out an assessment process. Thanks for listening.